Okay, so there is a correction I want to make. Well, a disclaimer I want to make before I release this, and I say this in the nicest way possible. I'm not coming at Columbia Records. I'm not coming at Sony. I think he was signed to Sony Records at some point, and then he was signed to Warner. It's not me coming directly at the label, but it is suspicious that that song, the music video, is trying to be taken down. Okay, so we're gonna assume that many people don't know the name Lyfe Jennings, and if you have, you probably haven't heard it in a while. Lyfe Jennings is known for an R&B song, either Hypothetically or Must Be Nice, which is on his Life 268. I think he had just gotten out when he finished that album. Actually put it out in 2007 or 2005, I think, one of the two. Anyway, so Lyfe Jennings released a song titled Till You're Gone, which it's a weird thing happening with that song, and I think that's why I want to cover this first. And if I put any other episodes out after this episode, then, but I did want to push this out kind of early because of the situation of this song, which I'm going to get into. But the situation of the song is that he said that it's going to be pulled. It was pulled from Instagram the day before I'm recording this. I'm recording this on a Friday. It was taken down like Thursday night, Friday morning. The song's still on YouTube as I'm recording this. So if you hear me say that it was taken down, or I put it in a disclaimer that I've taken this down, then you know why it was taken down. But I'm going to talk about this song, but also the scenes in it. And it's a very powerful message, right? So we're going to talk about this real quick. Let's see any responses and we'll get right into it.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Okay, as I said, the song is Till You're Gone, and this opening scene, he put a disclaimer about the video that it's not against anybody's ill will, and it's not pro anything against anything. He even makes a joke that is not anti-barbecue. We get it. So he's just saying that this isn't anti-anything. But I think the first scene, so this is the thing. The first scene could be the reason why it's being taken down, because it's essentially somebody getting beat in an old-fashioned way. That's the best way I'm going to put it without going into detail. If you want to do it, go watch it on YouTube, because that's the only thing that is on YouTube still. And then the second scene is about it's about a girl. It's about a woman and her idea of getting a BBL to please the. Now it's not necessarily that they're married, but she sends a text, I think, to her mother, and it's that the guy in her relationship wants her to get a BBL because he doesn't think she's right, or that I guess she would need improvement, which that in itself is a weird thing. I think, if you ask me, that is just a weird thing to do, because you should love somebody for who they are, physically, emotionally, but I can't pick and choose, right? Like I can't be picky, and I have to describe these scenes and the reason why I think that some of this is happening in this way. And so I think the first scene is probably the reason why it keeps getting taken down. But I can't be for sure, because I'm not sure who's pulling it down or flagging it, and YouTube has a different policy. So in the song, Lyfe Jennings says, "Bury me with with inmates," just to the extent of that they understand what he's going through. And to some extent, I think it's true that there are certain people that just know what you're going through, especially in certain situations where you can't say something, you can't do certain, or act a certain way. There are situations where there are just people that are gonna know you. he talks about people are gonna share pictures of you and quotes about you when you're gone, to just show that they cared. But when you're alive, it's not the same effect, right? So, and this is I think strictly, if you ask me, it's strictly on hip hop, because he says don't. He doesn't use the terms, but I'm going to interpret it and paraphrase it a little bit so that I'm not standing on anybody's lines, right? So overall, he just says that you don't want to be or change yourself for somebody, woman, man, anybody. You don't want to have to change yourself if they never believed in you, right? And to some extent, you kind of have to been in those situations to understand the point of that message. But it's true that not everybody's your friend, as we've seen with a lot of rap situations in the past couple months. But we've also seen in the girl that went to Mexico with her friends, and I only say it that way because it is true. Like it's happening a lot, right? So, and he adds on here, you don't want don't try to make anyone else happy when you're not happy. So don't try to change yourself or conform to a standard or conform to a norm, or not be happy yourself because you're trying to make other people happy. And to some extent, I do understand that message, and that message is very clear, but it's very true. He says, "Bury me with waffles, so P and D Rock will get. I believe it's to get the things that he ordered, because P and D Rock, when he was shot or stabbed, one of the two. It's a weird situation. Like, that situation is weird in itself, but I think it later came out in reports that he was trying to get waffles, or they were out for breakfast at the time, and so he makes that connection of, hey, give me some waffles, so if they when I'm gone, I can finally give him the food that he wanted. And to some extent, I get that, because it's a weird thing, because nobody was P and D Rock wasn't shown love before the incident of, oh, I remember him making a song, or him ever making a song, but he became back into the spotlight and back to famous to people when he was gone. And to some extent, that is messed up, right? So, which is weird. I think you have to have double layers, right? And I get that to an extent. So, okay. He says "Long Live Takeoff," which is, that's still brand new. Like, it's been a couple minutes, but it hasn't been like, it's been a little bit. But Takeoff, he says, "Long live Takeoff, long live Young Dolph, Pop Smoke, P and D Rock, Pac, Biggie, DMX, King Von." He says Master J, but I'm not sure what that's relating to. I'm not sure, cause if you had asked me, thought Master J was still alive, or I thought so. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Now I know he's on me. Jam. Yeah. Sorry, I knew him as Jam Master, not Master J. So I get it. Right, or Run DMC. But yeah, you lose various people to killings that just could have been avoided, and I think it's sad though, because the Young Dolph situation, like, looking back at these situations, right, like, Pac was shot because of allegedly beef with Biggie, and like that in itself is weird. To me, it's a weird thing. P and D Rock being shot at a eatery or an establishment where they were serving food is kind of thing. Pop Smoke getting robbed and him getting shot. Takeoff just, after leaving the game in the middle of the night or midnight, whichever time is right, but he was, and the situation went worse. Yeah, but it's it's sad to listen to You're Gone, because a lot of these DMX even got back into the spotlight after he died. So it's just people started to pay attention to these rappers when they were dead, and that's a sad thing about being a rapper or being an artist in any form, and that's sad. Okay, so I have to explain the scene. This scene is a scene in this song where it's presumably a funeral. That's the only way I can put it. It's a funeral. Somebody's in a casket. And one of his friends, or his ex-friends, are trying to go after his woman after he's dead. Now, the rule is you wait a certain amount of time or they're basically off limits. And he's like, with friends, like the friends that are like in your woman's DMs, alive or dead, like, who needs enemies, right? Because at any time, if they feel like they don't like you at that time, they're gonna go after like your relationship, and that's not a good thing either. Which, like I said, this song is very deep for me, and it's an 8 out of 10. But I think I would definitely go watch that video on YouTube if I haven't, before they take it down, because I'm not sure when they're taking it down, and I'm not sure who the label that Lyfe Jennings is signed to. But for them to have this business meeting, it worries me, right? Because now the visuals the scenes might not be ordinary or normal, but to some extent, he's making very good points with these messages. He says R.I.P. Kanye, I think, too, and that message, I think either he's saying I don't want to speak for an artist, but I think he is talking about a form of Kanye, which is fine. I get that. That's relatable to an extent, right? So I do wonder, though. I do wonder what that is meaning, I think, overall, but the picture's clear. So I'm gonna release this very quickly, probably faster than I release my other episodes, but I thought I had to, so we're gonna see where this goes. And it's an 8 out of 10 for me.